never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
How's it going, guys? I'm Andrew.
I'm Chris.
And welcome back, yes, back to Ballers Basement. Now, today, we have a special guest. We have a special guest on the channel. It's our guy, Dante. Say what's up to the people, Dante.
Yo, how y'all doing out there?
Alright, now Dante, we have him on for a specific reason. Dante is a diehard, bona fide Lakers fan. Alright, this man loves the Lakers, okay? And today, on this Path to Greatness episode 3, we're talking about the Lakers, and we're talking about, what would be the best path for them to, be a contender, whether, we're going to talk about whether we think they should try to become contenders immediately, or what would put them in the best position to become a contender within the next few years. So, since Dante is a guest on the show today, we're going to start off with Dante. Dante, looking at the roster, looking at who they have, the picks they have, the free agents that are available, or that will be available within the next 2 years, what do you think the best path for the Lakers is in order to be a real contender within the West?
Well, personally for me, I do like our roster. We have like a good young core with Clarkson, Russell, Randall, and Ingram. I like that build.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we need to trade away some big contracts.
Yeah.
Like Mozgov and Luol Deng. New contracts is big. They played okay this year, but they didn't play up to the expectations that the contracts they got.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was like a huge waste. Now, the thing is, it's depending on who you trade them for.
Right.
You can trade them for some good pieces, here and there, but don't try and go all out and try and blow up your entire roster to try and get one all-star, and then you don't have anything to build around it.
Yeah.
That's how I personally feel. But right now, we do have the second pick in the draft. I'm kind of skeptical about who the Lakers are going to take. It's between Lonzo and LaVar, because LaVar is going to come with Lonzo and Markelle Fultz. So, I just want a good player that's going to help elevate us and get us to a good place.
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, you look at Timofey Mozgov in the 2016-17 season alone, he made $16 million. Then you look at, Luol Deng.
I don't know why y'all signed him on that.
And then Luol Deng made $18 million. And then you go look at, D'Angelo Russell. He only made $5. I mean, granted, he's still in his rookie contract, but I mean, it's the next best player in terms of salary after Luol and Mozgov is Jordan Clarkson, who makes $12 million. And I think Jordan Clarkson is a far better player than Luol and Mozgov at this point in their career. So my thing is, for the Lakers, I would just try to dump the contracts, get rid of them, because they were bad contracts. I mean, I feel like the Lakers, they had money to spend at the time, so they just spent it to spend it, and now they're stuck with this salary. So I would try to get rid of those contracts. Personally, I think they have a good young core. Like you said, I'm very high on Brandon Ingram. I think he has a lot of potential. I think he can be all-star one day. I truly do believe that. I think Julius Randle is a great as well. And Clarkson is good. I think I would look, if you guys draft Lonzo Ball in the draft this year, which is pretty likely regardless of the rumors of them not being too sure after his workout. Workout is pretty much one-on-one activities, drills. Lonzo shines in team ball. He's not really a one-on-one player. So, I mean, there's but so much you can display with that. But I do think the Lakers will take him if he's available. And if that happens, I would trade. One trade that I've been saying I would love to see happen, I'm not sure if it would be trading D'Angelo Russell to the Sixers, because the Sixers are in need of a point guard, and in return, the Sixers give the Lakers the third pick in this year's draft, which I think would be pretty dope. Because if you could have Alonzo Ball and then a Josh Jackson, or Alonzo Ball and then a Tatum, I mean, that would be pretty insane. Because I don't know if Russell's the right fit for this Lakers team specifically, especially if they get Lonzo. So I'm not sure about that. And then the rest of the team, I think once you have Lonzo in place, Ingram continues to develop, you have Randall, and if you trade Russell or keep Russell, I mean, that's just another great piece. They should stop trying to intentionally tank, and I think they should build through free agency around this young core that they have. If they acquire a Paul George in a year from now, that would be huge. And I think that's the best way for them to position themselves to be contenders for the next few years, is building around that young core after this year, whoever they end up with, and just acquiring free agents that could help them elevate their team along with their development. But what do you think, Chris?
I think I left out Zubac. Zubac actually has some pretty good potential.
He's nice.
Him and Randall could definitely be a good big man duo. I think that the Lakers really do need to draft Lonzo because they're lacking in the playmaking department, in my opinion. You get that ball movement up going, and I think they'll definitely make more shots. They'll be more consistent with making those shots. If I was the Lakers, I'd rather keep D'Angelo than trade him to. I would rather keep him than trade him. But if he's not working out in terms of their offensive scheme after getting Lonzo, then I would definitely try to move him for either the third pick, like you said, or move him for a young talent or a decent talent that I can develop still. I like Clarkson off the bench. Clarkson is a great 6-man off the bench. And I think that if you keep all of these pieces together, you draft Lonzo, you keep D'Angelo Russell, or you keep Jordan Clarkson and Ingram and Zubac and Randall, I think they'll definitely have a great team years to come.
Oh, yeah,
I think once they get that veteran experience, I think they'll definitely make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's also what we kind of need. We need like a vet, not like a vet that's like way past his prime, but like that's about to go into his prime. We need like a vet so they
Paul
can
George.
have somebody to look up to. Yeah, like a Paul George. Yeah. I saw you guys this video where y'all talked about LeBron either going to the Clippers or the Lakers.
Yeah.
Now me, I would love LeBron to come to the Lakers. It's a nice dream. I don't think it's gonna happen. Gonna happen because I wouldn't see LeBron leaving the team that he built now in Cleveland to come to the Lakers. I mean, LeBron could elevate them. He could, but I think wherever LeBron goes, they make the playoffs.
But I think
automatically.
I think in order for him to come,
it would hurt the development of your young stars.
And I mean, the development of Brandon Ingram, definitely.
But I mean, my thing is, in order for him to come, unless there's like an exponential jump that no one could foresee within the next year, I think it would take the Lakers to scrap their rebuild. It would take them to trade away Ingram or Randall. I mean, maybe keep one or two of them, but LeBron's not coming unless you have some heavy guns for him where he feels, hey, I have a way better chance of winning with the Lakers than I do with the Cavs, and I don't think that'd be a smart move for the Lakers.
Oh yeah, of course. And another positive thing is I'm glad that we finally got rid of Jim Buss and Mitch Kupchak.
Oh yes.
I'm glad that Magic Johnson's in office. I feel like Magic Johnson has been very, critical of the Lakers organization on Twitter when we were doing terrible, like we were tanking hard.
Yeah.
Like I would go on Twitter and read his tweets. I'm like, see, this is a man that wants to see the Lakers back into the promised land that we once used to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like that he'll make the right decisions and elevate us and get us back to that little golden era that we had. Not like, Showtime or like, Kobe and Shaq level. Maybe like the 09, 2010 seasons where we won the championships there. Because we had a really good team.
Yeah. With
just Kobe, Powell, Bynum. And then you just like, oh, that's the rest of their team. I don't think they're gonna make the finals. When they did, they won back-to-back championships.
Yeah. I mean, I think Magic, he just brings a whole different type of vibe and environment to the Lakers compared to when Mitch was there and Buss's son. He just brings, he understands winning. I think better than they do. I think he understands what it takes to win. And he also, I think he just makes people want to play for the Lakers more. Like, you have Alonzo Ball out there making it very clear that the Lakers is the place he wants to be, because people buy into what Magic is pitching. People believe in Magic and believe in his vision, and they truly believe when you bring Magic Johnson in, the Lakers are ready to win, and they want to win, and they do. So I think he just gives the Lakers a makeover, a new face, and I think it's a really great thing. I think he's leading them in a much better direction than they were being led by Kupchak and Buss.
Oh, most definitely, because Magic Johnson is arguably one of the greatest Lakers of all time, and he's like one of the best point guards of all time.
The best.
Everybody knows from watching Magic Johnson, like, he has a basketball mind. Like, he's a 6'9" point guard doing things that most of these point guards in the current NBA can't do.
Exactly.
And if he teaches Lonzo how to play the way he played, Lonzo will definitely be an issue.
And Lonzo's a big guard.
Another great thing.
He's a big guard. So I mean, there's a lot of similarities between Magic and Lonzo's game. I mean, I'm not comparing them in terms of talent. I think Magic was a far more talented player, but I think Lonzo's like a bigger Jason Kidd. I mean, that's the best way I could compare it to, with a bit of a better or more. I mean, his jumper's ugly, but it's consistent, to say the least. So
it's more consistent than Jason Kidd's was when Jason Kidd first started.
Exactly, that's my point.
Jason Kidd got his jump shot going down later in his career, because he can't do the same things he used to do when he was younger.
Yeah, when he was around Dallas Mavericks day, his jumper was pretty consistent at that point in time, but that was later years of his career. But Lonzo, I mean, his shot's unorthodox, to say the least, but at least he has it figured out in terms of getting it to drop. So I think Lonzo would be the right pick for the Lakers, honestly. I don't see.
Yeah, who's
unless
to learn from than Magic.
I mean, unless the Celtics take Lonzo first, where it's like, okay, well then I guess we're taking Fultz. I don't really see. I understand they have some questions, but I don't see a player that they could take over Lonzo and be able to justify it to Lakers fans. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see them being like, oh yeah, we had questions, so instead of Lonzo, if they took De'Aaron Fox, I'd be like, okay, he's a good player, he could be a good player, but I feel like Lonzo's passing ability is what makes him that transcendent type, what separates him from the rest, because that's not really something you could teach. You can't teach size, and you can't teach court vision like that. So I think, I think they shouldn't pass up on him. I really don't think they should.
They definitely shouldn't. I think there's not really, anybody that I think that they should take, like you said, that can be validated. There are some good players in the drafts coming up, but I can't see one that fits better for the Lakers than Lonzo.
Yeah.
I think if we do draft Lonzo, I would be excited about that, because that's a high young player coming in. Now my thing is, I don't want them to necessarily get rid of D'Angelo Russell. I feel like, put him on the bench and have him come off the bench with Clarkson, because those two together do damage.
I would say they would
move him to the two.
You can't put both of them. You have to get rid of one. They're too valuable of assets in terms of, like, if you trade one of them, you could really get something back in return. Especially if you trade like a D'Angelo right now. You could get like a franchise piece if you were to get a Lonzo and then a Josh Jackson. I mean, that's something serious. So I think they would have to make their decision what they want to do right now. But like I said, just to reiterate my point on the path to greatness for the Lakers, I think that they should draft Alonzo, do what you're going to do with D'Angelo, either keep him or trade him, and then from that point on, develop your core, get free agents to surround them with to make them a better team, and then I think within the next 2-3 years they'll be a playoff team for sure.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I just want to see us back in the playoffs as soon as possible. It's been 7 years since our last championship, and I can't stand it right now.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
I think they definitely need to, just develop their young talent. If they do that, they'll be in great shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, I think that pretty much hits it on the head. Anything else? Any more points you guys want to make on the Lakers' path to greatness?
I got one. I got one issue. I was very upset that we traded away Lou Williams and put him on Houston. Let's just get that out the way right now. You take one 6-man and pair him up with another 6-man in Eric Gordon, and then six man turned into like one of the greatest starters in James Harden. I think that was so unfair.
I think it was a very.
And we get back Corey Brewer.
I think it was a smart move on Magic's point, from Magic's perspective, because they weren't sure if they were gonna have their second pick. So he traded Lou Will knowing that Lou Will probably wasn't going to re-sign. I think he wanted to be in more of a winning situation anyway. And he wasn't in the Lakers' plans for future development. So what he did was he flipped him for a late first-round pick and Corey Brewer. I mean, at least if they didn't get their second pick, they would have had a pick. You know, so I think it was fair. It was a fair trade. They weren't going to be able to utilize him in a winning situation.
More cap space. I think that was their main thing.
Because I don't know what Lou Williams' contract was.
Neither do I. I don't have it off the top of my head.
Me, I don't know.
Lou Williams. Yeah, I could probably find it if you give me a second.
Oh, no problem.
But yeah,
I mean, I think that I don't think it was necessarily a bad move. I don't necessarily agree with it either. I think it was to help them tank a little more, because Lou Will was giving them that extra spark off the bench. He made that buzzer beater, and then he got traded a few games later, which, I mean, if I was a Laker fan, I'd definitely be pretty pissed off too.
I was heated. I said, why do we trade away our sixth man who's been giving us like 30 points for Corey Brewer? But then, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I said, you know, we're probably doing this for a reason. Now we got our second pick. We got a late first round pick. Hopefully, we can find like a hidden gem in the late first round.
Yeah,
you know, like how we did with like a Larry Nance.
Yeah, Lou Williams, he was making $7 million.
That's not even that much compared to.
In the 15-16 season, he was making $7 million. Yeah, it wasn't horrible. I mean, it was pretty solid. But yeah, I think it was a solid. It wasn't a horrible trade. I mean, they could get a late first round talent, like you guys are saying. I mean, who knows? So I think it could be a valuable pick. And this draft is fairly deep, especially with some foreign players when you go down in the later picks. So maybe they could pick up something nice.
Maybe we could get a Kristaps Porzingis, maybe?
That late? I mean, you know, God bless you if you do. God bless you if you do. That would be awesome. But yeah, so, I mean, I think that pretty much wraps it up here. We talked about our different perspectives, which I like. I mean, I appreciate Dante. Thank you for coming on again. I mean, it gives us a whole nother perspective on the Lakers and what they need and, you know, different concerns people might have that we were able to address here today. So that wraps it up for episode 3 of the Lakers Path to Greatness. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment. Tell us what you think would be best for the Lakers in order of, you know, developing their team and getting them back into the playoffs and eventually to the promised land. And if you want to hear more, subscribe and hit that bell button so you can be part of our Noto squad, our notification squad, so you know whenever we're back in the basement talking hoops. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. So we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.
Peace.